Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into some fascinating data about Japan.
Yes, work culture specifically. You sent over some really interesting stuff about senior employment.
Yeah, it was really wild. I mean, in one region of Japan, nearly half of the companies have systems for employing people over 70.
I know, it's pretty remarkable, right? It
Yeah.
really speaks to how Japan is dealing with its aging population.
And shrinking workforce, right.
Exactly.
So it's not just Japan facing this whole demographic shift. It's something that a lot of developed countries are grappling with.
It's a global trend, for sure.
Yeah.
This data specifically, though, it comes from 5 specific prefectures in Japan: Hiroshima, Yamaguchi, Okayama, Shimane, and Tottori.
And all of them are exceeding the national average when it comes to employing workers over 70. What's the national average anyway?
41.6%.
Wow. Okay, so these prefectures are really leading the charge, and you mentioned Shimane is out in front, even amongst these 5. Any ideas why?
That's a really good question. It would be interesting to see if it has anything to do with a stronger tradition of craft industries in that region.
Oh, where the skills of older workers are especially valuable.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
Or maybe it's something about government policies, incentives being used more effectively there. I think it would be fascinating to dig deeper.
Yeah, for sure. So we know companies are employing these older workers, but what does that actually look like on the ground?
Well, it seems like companies are finding whatever works best for them.
Okay, so there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Definitely not. Some places continue to employ, like, all or most of their employees past the usual retirement age. Some places just got rid of mandatory retirement altogether, and then others just bumped up the retirement age.
Makes sense. It's interesting to see that level of flexibility. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the other systems category in the data was surprisingly big, 36.6%.
I know. I thought that was so interesting. What are they doing that's not covered by the kind of standard options?
Right. It really makes you wonder. Maybe a surge in mentorship programs where those experienced workers are guiding newer employees.
All fostering that intergenerational transfer of knowledge. That's a good one.
Or maybe it's more project-based work becoming common. That way people can have more flexible arrangements.
Yeah, it really seems like companies are having to adapt.
For sure. This all seems to track with the legal changes from 2021 that encouraged companies to provide work opportunities up to age 70.
Oh, absolutely. It's having a real impact. And it's fascinating to think about the benefits for both sides. Companies get to keep hold of all that experience, and it helps them deal with the labor shortages. And individuals, well, they get financial security, obviously, but also the social interaction and the feeling of purpose that comes with work. It's really important for a lot of people.
I can see that, but aren't there, like, potential downsides as well?
Oh, of course. There are always 2 sides to every coin.
Like, what about the impact on job opportunities for younger people?
That's the big one, isn't it? And it's something that researchers are going to have to follow closely.
Right, because are these companies actually creating new opportunities or just replacing younger workers with older ones?
Exactly. And right now, it's just too early to tell for sure.
Really makes you think it's like we're watching a slow-motion social experiment unfold.
And one with huge implications. We need long-term observation to understand the full impact. Because as encouraging as this data is, those positive and negative consequences, those will take time to fully reveal themselves.
It'll be fascinating to see how this affects Japan's famous seniority system and what it means for work in other countries with aging populations. So much to think about.
And will these changes lead to greater employee satisfaction, both for older and younger workers? Or will it lead to new forms of resentment and dissatisfaction? And how will those dynamics play out differently in urban and rural settings? It'll be fascinating to see how it all unfolds.
It's true what they say, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Every change has its ripple effects. Thanks for diving into this with me. And for anyone listening, I hope this sparked some interesting thoughts for you too. This isn't just a Japanese issue. The future of work is something that affects all of us.